Welcome to the Website Success Show, the podcast dedicated to helping women in business make the most of the content they're already creating so they can get more traffic and sales through their website with less reliance on social media and paid ads. I'm Jules White, the founder of the Website Success Hub, and I love helping course creators, podcasters, and business owners make more money through their existing website. If you have a business you love but you don't love the way your website performs, then this is the show for you.
So I wanted to talk this morning about feeding the algorithm and maybe the missed potential that we could have from trying to keep up with the content creation machine. I had a conversation with somebody yesterday and we were talking about using AI to create new content, and not just like blog posts and things like that, but also using voice generating AI. And it just prompted some thoughts in my mind of how we can kind of forget about the fact, especially if we've been creating content for a while, if you've been producing your podcast for a while and you've got lots of episodes out there, or if you've got lots of blog posts or lots of YouTube videos, or even if you've been creating content for social media and you've got lots there that's sort of just there floating in your world, but you haven't really done anything with it, then we can kind of have this feeling like, I've got to keep producing more, new content. And there is so much potential there for what you already have. So all of that content is like the door into your website. Hopefully that's the goal, is the content is ideally there on your website, so it's searchable from an SEO point of view. It's much better if you have content that is searchable. But even if you've not got to that point yet, where it's actually you've got your podcast episodes on your website, you've got dedicated pages on your website for your podcast episodes, the potential is there. And it's probably a lot easier to make the most of what's already around than trying to create new content or trying to learn how to use AI to do that, or thinking about, okay, I've got to just keep creating new stuff. Whereas actually just by putting some thought into that of what have I already created, and thinking as well about what do I need to create? What needs to be out there around my business that are the topics that I need to be in authority on? And I think we can kind of sometimes forget that critical part of that initial strategy of thinking, okay, what are the main pillars that I need to talk about, and what content have I already got around that? What can I optimize? What can I make the most of? What can I repurpose? And repurpose doesn't even necessarily mean changing it and making it different. It can literally be the case of updating it, or if you've got an old podcast episode that's fabulous, then getting that onto your website. So whether that is creating a dedicated page for your top episodes, start with that first and foremost, making sure that they're actually searchable. So then having the show notes and having everything that would then help Google to understand that. And then maybe you create a blog around that if you don't already have it, or if you've already got blogs that relate to that topic, then building some links between those content, those different pieces of content. So it's something that I think there's definitely a pressure there to keep creating and to keep up with this feeling of like the content creation machine. And there is explosions of content out there, but it doesn't mean it's good content, and it doesn't mean it's content that people actually want to what's the word, consume. I want to say that's not the right word, but like people actually want to listen to, they want to read. I know that I've heard a few podcasts where the podcasts that I enjoy listening to, and they have done maybe an AI generated version of that podcast. And I always think that even if it sounds like them, and even if it has because the big thing is obviously it's not sounding like a robot, and even if it doesn't sound like a robot, I think what I really miss is the little errors and them laughing at themselves or saying something silly, or those little, obviously you don't want someone who's all the way through, but those little pauses and those little mistakes are the things that make me really want to listen to those people again. I think it's that human element. So I think there's definitely, I think we will become more used to it. But in terms of actually, if you're trying to create a connection with people, then I think making the most of what you've already got, it seems silly to waste that opportunity, really. So if you feel like you've got loads of content out there and it's not doing what you want it to, if your website is bringing money into your business but it's not bringing as much in as you would like. If it's critical for your success, for your website to bring money in, so if you've got courses, if you've got group programs, if you're selling products, if you're doing high ticket coaching, anything where there's something that can take place through your website, even if you're selling as well, like selling digital products, selling anything really, where it can actually happen, where you're not limited on the number of places that you have, then getting more traffic to your website is going to really help, definitely. So that's where you can use your content strategically to actually make the most of that and make sure that does happen. So if you're feeling like, actually, yeah, I've got that content now, I would like to make the most of it, I would like to understand how to use that to generate traffic into my website, then book a discovery call. Let's have a chat about it. Let's see what we can do to get you on that pathway to success. And whether that is starting with your podcast, maybe it is, maybe your podcast is the doorway into your website. Your website is the shop, that's where everything happens. Your podcast is the doorway in. And there's lots of things that can be the doorway into your shop, essentially your online shop. Maybe it is your blog posts are kind of like that doorway into the sales pages. Maybe it is your social media and that's a doorway in. But I think it's good to focus on the things that can continue producing continue getting those customers coming into your business. And generally social media doesn't have a long shelf life, so it's worth sort of thinking about what can you do that has a bit more longevity. So having your podcast episodes structured in a way that it does encourage people to go to the right places on your website, encourages them to take the action that you want them to take. And the same with your blog posts as well, thinking about how you can naturally link it into your sales pages or into your email sign up. If that's what you want people to do, if that's the action you want people to take, then thinking about how you can do that through your content is really important. So yeah, if you'd like to hop on a discovery call with me, then you can do that through my website, the website successhub.com, the website successhub.com/book. And yeah, book a website potential discovery call and we can have a chat about whether it's your podcast you need help with or your website or just generally getting that strategy in place to understand what content you have, what content you need to be creating, and just building a more sustainable way of marketing your business.